everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to start Vlogmas week 2. I am so happy with how week 1's vlog came out. I hope that you guys enjoyed that vlog, and I am just so excited to be making so much content for you guys in December. So today is Tuesday, December 6th. I didn't feel the need to do an update yesterday. Mondays are pretty crazy for me work-wise, so I don't usually get a ton of reading done anyway, and I'm always tired at the end of my workday, so I never feel like turning on my camera. So I think going forward, I'll just start these weekly vlogs on Tuesday and end them on Sunday. But let's get into the reading update because I have 2 books to talk about. So last night I finished The Dark King by Gina L. Maxwell. I went into the plot of this one quite a bit at the end of last week's vlog, so I'm not going to talk too much about that here. But this is an urban fantasy romance where we have Caden, our hero, who is the king of the Night Court of the Fae. And then we have Bryn, who is a human woman, and they meet in Las Vegas. Caden and his whole family run this empire, basically, in Las Vegas. They have a wonderful night together, and they end up married to each other the next morning, and they do not remember a single thing. So this book is book 1 in a series, by the way, and the series as a whole gives me vibes of ACOTAR, Beauty and the Beast, definitely. The Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, as well as the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. And I would say 50 Shades of Grey, but in the best way possible. Like, don't let that comparison deter you. It's like the best possible version of 50 Shades of Grey because there's a lot of BDSM in here, and just the vibe of the BDSM reminds me of 50 Shades, even though I never read the books, and I think I've watched the first movie, but it was like years ago. Anyways, I ended up giving this 5 stars. I had a fun time with this. This was absolutely not the most original urban fantasy romance out there, but I still just had such a fun time, and the romance was really great. The sex scenes in this, chef's kiss. So good, so hot. So if you're just looking for a fun time, definitely recommend this. Definitely recommend the audiobook because Aiden Snow, one of my favorite narrators, narrates Caden's point of view, and it's a good time. I love his voice so much. And this is kind of a random little tidbit, but if you have read The Bride Goes Rogue by Joanna Shupe and you loved how the heroine called Preston my king in certain situations, that also happens in this book. So just wanted to throw that in there as a little extra something to maybe motivate you to pick this up. But let me talk about what I am currently reading, which is something very, very, very different. That is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. This is Sabaa Tahir's newest release. This came out earlier this year. Sabaa Tahir is most well known for her Ember in the Ashes series, which is a YA fantasy series. This, however, is a hard-hitting YA contemporary. This actually won the 2022 National Book Award for YA Literature. So I was very, very excited going into this book, and there are a lot of amazing authors blurbing this on the back of the book. So this is told in 3 POVs. We have Salahuddin and Noor, who are teenagers in present-day Juniper, California, which is a very, very, very small town. And then we have Misbah. Her POV is told in the past. Misbah is Salahuddin's mother, and so we're getting her perspective of when she got married to her husband and how they moved to the States and all of that. And then Sal and Noor, they are dealing with a lot. So we see that very early on in the book, Misbah ends up passing away from kidney disease. She doesn't have insurance, so she can't get dialysis. And so both Sal, of course, Sal is grieving the loss of his mother, but Noor, who is like a friend of the family, I would say, she was also very, very, very close to Misbah. So they are dealing with that grief, and they're both kind of trapped by other people's dreams, or like the American dream, you could say. It's a very interesting story, very heavy, definitely very hard-hitting. There are some content warnings. By the way, I really appreciate that More and more we're seeing traditionally published books having content warnings. What's really great is that there's a page that just says, please be aware that all my reads contains content that may be triggering. For a list of content, please see the bottom of the next page, because I know there's people out there that consider trigger warnings or content warnings to be spoilers. So you don't have to read them if you don't want to, but I wanted to throw out there that there are some content warnings for drug and alcohol addiction, physical abuse, Islamophobia, mentions of repressed sexual assault, tense exchange with law enforcement, and death. This is definitely not a very happy story by any means, but the writing is absolutely stunning. So I have tried reading the Ember and the Ashes series before. I actually read the first 3 books. It's a 4-book series, and that series was just okay for me. I feel like as the series went along, I liked it kind of less and less. But it's also a series that I would recommend to other people to try out, because I do think that there's some really amazing things going on in that series, but for some reason, it just didn't quite work for me. But the writing in this is just spectacular through and through. The audiobook is very well done as well, because the narrators just, they are the characters. They just sound like these characters. This is just an interesting perspective about the American dream and how it can negatively affect younger generations. But yeah, I'm halfway through right now. I'm on page 176, and according to my Libby app, that's about 48% of the way through the book. So very much looking forward to finishing this. I'm hoping, if I don't finish it tonight, I'm hoping to read like at least like 25 to 30 more % of this. By the way, I got this copy from the library. If you saw last week's vlog, you would know that I went to the library and got some goodies that I'm very excited about. So yes, I already highly recommend this. I think that readers of all ages could learn a lot from this story for sure. So that's gonna be it for this update, right? I don't have anything else to talk about. So with that being said, I will go ahead and give you guys an update tomorrow. It's Wednesday, my dudes, and look who just got a haircut. Oh my God, I'm absolutely obsessed. My good friend Casey came over and cut my hair and styled it, and I absolutely love it. Like, this is like the perfect kind of cut for me, because when I wear it curly, which is most of the time, my hair kind of ends up looking like an old Hollywood movie star. Like, the layers just really work for me and my hair, and I love this length. Like, I am always here for chin length hair. I always chop off my hair when I get a haircut, because I usually go like a good 4 to 6 months between each haircut, because I just forget and put it off. So yeah, I'm just absolutely obsessed. Thank you so much, Casey. I love it so much. So I have 2 packages to unbox for you guys. So the first one, this pink box, is from Beauty Blender. So I'll show you what their wrapping paper looks like, because it's so adorable. So I don't typically order straight from Beauty Blender's website. I usually buy my Beauty Blender makeup sponges through Ulta or Sephora. I don't shop at Sephora anymore. I only shop through Ulta, because Sephora's reward system sucks and Ulta's is so much better. But I saw that Beauty Blender had like a 25% off sale for Black Friday. So I decided to stock up on some goodies, because I have been using like knockoff Beauty Blender sponges for like, I'd say the past couple of years, and nothing compares, in my opinion, to the original Beauty Blenders. And I'll show you guys what specifically I got, but I was able to stock up on 3 Beauty Blender sponges and a couple of other accessories for a really good discounted price, because individually a Beauty Blender sponge, they're these little egg-shaped pink makeup sponges. They usually are $20 each, but because I got, this is a set that includes 2 sponges and a cute little stand to put your sponge on when it's drying after you've applied makeup. And then I also got a set with another sponge and a carrying case to put the Beauty Blender in, because that's always a struggle for me when I'm traveling with my makeup, having a little container or a little something to put my sponge in. But yeah, these are usually $20 each, which is kind of expensive for a makeup sponge, let's be real. But I'm telling you guys, nothing compares to how smooth and soft these sponges are, and they apply foundation incredibly, in my opinion. So I'm really glad that I took the opportunity and stocked up. So now I have 3 sponges. I usually change a sponge out every few months, and I just make sure to keep them really clean as I'm using them. I do use the Beauty Blender soap that they make to clean these. And then here is my massive book of the month box, because I got 3 books this month. So if you don't know, with book of the month, by the way, I am not sponsored. I wish that I was, but alas, I am not. But with book of the month, you get a free add-on book for the month of your birthday. So my birthday is December 14th. Next week, I'm turning 30. I'm not prepared. But yeah, because December is my birth month, I got an add-on book for free. And then because it's the end of the year, I got another add-on book for free, but it had to be one of like 4 or 5 books that made the finalists for book of the month's like book of the year award. So I'll get into that. So my pick for the month of December was Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am really excited for this book, but I'm also like a little bit hesitant just because I have heard kind of mixed reviews. I love R.F. Kuang's Poppy War trilogy. It's absolutely spectacular, but I've heard that this is very different. But the premise just sounds so interesting. Like, I really hope that I love this book, and I'm very excited that book of the month ended up picking this as one of their December books. So this is a dark academia fantasy story that takes place, I believe, 1828. I thought it took place in the 1930s for some reason, but 1828. And I was told that this takes place in a fantasy world where specific words have their own specific magic. Like, yes, you could argue that magic spells, like the words that are in magic spells, have their own power, but I think that in this world it's more specific, like individual words have specific powers, I think. And so that just sounds very intriguing. I am obsessed with this cover. I'm obsessed. Oh my God. This is a chunky book. It's just looks like a little over 500 pages, but it's a standalone adult fantasy novel, you know? So I really hope that I love this. I probably won't pick this up anytime soon, but very excited about it nonetheless. Then next up I got Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So this was my free add-on for December, and I am so pumped. Oh my God. Kennedy Ryan's latest release. This is a second chance romance. I've also heard that this is more of a fiction novel with a very strong romantic element. I don't think it's strictly a romance novel, and I'm totally fine with that. Like, I'm fine with whatever Kennedy Ryan writes. I recently read Real, and that book slayed me. I raved about that for a while in last week's vlog, if you want to go check that out. But yeah, this has to do with a divorced couple, and it's their second chance romance, and they have kids together, so it's about their co-parenting and things like that. Like, I can't wait to read this. And then last but not least, this was my free add-on that won book of the year from book of the month. That is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I have no clue what this is about, and I think I'm just gonna go into this blind, but I'm here for the vibe of this cover, and I love that this has the book of the year sticker on it. Yeah, I'm here for this. So that is it for the haul portion of this video. Let me put these books back in their box, and let's actually do a reading update. I've been filming for 10 minutes. What am I doing with my life? So I have to talk about All My Rage by Sabatir. I did finish this late last night at like 3 a.m. and this book was incredible. Oh my goodness. I know I set up the plot in my last update, But going further into the book, like, just know the main characters in this book go through it. And there are a couple of elements in this book that I kind of wish would have had content warnings. We did get a few content warnings at the beginning of the book, and I mentioned those in my last update. But something that I think people should know before going into this is that, and you can skip ahead a few seconds if you don't want to know anything, but there are elements of drug dealing going on. So not just drug addiction, but drug dealing, and there are scenes that take place in a jail after a very tense exchange with law enforcement. And the law enforcement thing was mentioned in the content warnings, but there is jail scenes and there are scenes in a courtroom during a trial. So I think that's worth knowing before going into this, because that definitely threw me for a loop. Definitely wasn't expecting that kind of story from the premise of this. The writing of this was incredible, and I really love how this ended specifically. I think that was my favorite part of the book. The very end of this, I thought was done perfectly, and I love how elements such as pain, trauma, healing, and love, and the American dream are all woven together in this story, and it's all just like done so well. Very heavy for sure. A lot of this book feels very heavy and very dark, but like I said, the ending is beautifully done, and I do think that the journey Sabathir puts you on as a reader is well worth it by the end. So yeah, highly recommend. Then late last night, I started The Best Marquis by Nicola Davidson. This is our book club pick for December for the Blushing Blue Stocking Society, which is a historical romance book club run by myself and Lisa from Remarkably Lisa. So we are having our live show on Saturday, December 10th at 8 p.m. Central Time. So that's going to be after this vlog goes up, but I will have that live show linked down in the description below if you want to check it out after the fact. But I'm just about 18% of the way through this book, and I'm having such a fun time. Nicola Davidson is my erotic historical romance queen. She truly knows how to balance the erotic elements with a very strong romance and the historical setting as well. And so this is about Pippa, who is the daughter of an earl, I believe, yes. She's about to turn 21, I believe, and her grandmother is just hell-bent on getting her married off because she's getting to a point where she's gonna become a spinster, because back in those days, if you weren't married by the time you were like 21, 22, like, girl, you were an old maid, you know? And so she doesn't wanna marry anyone that's not her perfect romance hero, basically, because she's really into reading smutty romance novels. And then we have Finn, who is her best friend. They've been best friends since they were like 8 years old or something, and Finn has been hopelessly in love with Pippa since then. Though Finn is a virgin, and we love virgin heroes in this house, he's cultivated this reputation of being a rake, and so because of that, Pippa doesn't really take him seriously as like a potential romantic partner, because she's not really into the rake vibe necessarily. But Finn also reads romance novels, which I love, and he is the owner of a pleasure toy business, which is absolutely iconic. And I can't wait to see how that gets incorporated into the story as we move further and further along into the book. So they hatch this plan that they will be fake engaged to each other to get Pippa's grandmother off her back. And he's just such a loyal and devoted friend to her. He will do literally anything for her. So he agrees to that, and he also agrees to giving her kissing lessons because she wants some more experience with that kind of stuff before seriously courting someone. So yeah, I just love this adorable friendship between the two of them so far. I always really enjoy Nicola Davidson's writing. This is just a fun time so far. I think I'm on like chapter 4 at the moment, so I'm not very far. So I need to go eat dinner. I need to jump back into this book. I might also start another book. There's a lot of books that I feel like I need to finish before the end of this week or before the end of next week. So I'm getting to a point where I'm gonna be reading a lot of books at the same time, which is a little bit chaotic, but it's fine. It's totally fine. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this update. All right, hello everyone. It is just about 1:15 a.m. So it's technically Friday, but I'm still thinking that it's Thursday, and we're gonna chat as if it's Thursday. I'm in kind of a chaotic reading situation right now. I'm in the middle of 3 books. I am now 62% of the way through The Best Marquis by Nicola Davidson. I'm really liking this. So far it's a 4-star read. It's not as amazing as other books that I've read by this author, but I am really liking this childhood friends to lovers vibe between Pippa and Finn, our 2 main characters. I love that they read romance novels. I love that Finn owns a pleasure toy business, and so they do end up going through with this pretend betrothal engagement, and they kind of end up being forced to marry each other. It's a weird situation, and I do want to throw out there that there's a content warning for death of a toxic parent. That's definitely a big part of Finn's character arc, and that's how he becomes a Marquis, whereas at the beginning of the book he was a Viscount. And of course Nicola Davidson serves with the steamy scenes that we've had so far. Yeah, this is like a fun time, but nothing that is all that like mind-blowing like some other novels that I've read by this author, but I'm still looking forward to finishing this tomorrow probably at some point, and then discussing this for the Blushing Blue Stocking Society live show, which is going to be on Saturday, because I always love chatting with Lisa. I am currently working on my reread of Kingdom of Ash, the big kahuna, the big daddy by Sarah J. Maas. This is the final book in the Throne of Glass series, which is one of my all-time favorite series. I love these characters and I love this story with my whole heart. And I'm rereading this as a part of SJM Along, which is a Sarah J. Maas read-along that was put together by Jen from the Book Refuge. And I'm really excited because I'm actually hosting the live show this month for our discussion of Kingdom of Ash. So I started this a little earlier tonight. I am on page 112. That is chapter 11. My game plan with this book, because it's almost 1,000 pages, is that I want to read about 100 pages a day so I don't get burnt out, because this is a very heavy book. I mean, right away, just pain and sorrow and agony. Like, it is heavy from page 1, and it definitely is a war-centered book. So with fantasy books like this that are so war-centered, I definitely have to pace myself so I don't get burnt out. Basically, I'm really excited about this reread because I now have the audiobooks for all the books in this series, and that definitely is making for a different reading experience than when I was just reading these books physically when I read the series for the first time in 2019. I think that Elizabeth Evans does a really great job with the narration of this series as a whole, so very excited to listen to this giant book on audio for sure. So you might recall from last week's vlog, at the end of that vlog, I started Marrying Winterborn by Lisa Kleypas, which is book 2 of the Ravenels series. I got about 25% of the way through that audiobook, a couple hours in, I think, and I realized that I really needed the context from Cold Hearted Rake, which is book 1. So I paused the audiobook right at about the 25% mark, like I said, and I started the audiobook for this one. So over the past few days, I've been listening to little chunks of this when I'm driving back and forth from work or from the park when I go on my walks with my mom and Chloe. And I just got the ebook for this because, if you don't know, I typically read by listening to the audiobook while also following along with either a physical or an ebook copy. That's my preferred way of reading. So now that I have the ebook, I'm definitely going to devote more time to reading this book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I've forgotten how like comforting and cozy Lisa Kleypas's writing is for me. I just love the way I feel when I read her novels, and this is just a really great setup for the Ravenels series as a whole. I really like the characters and the direction of the plot so far. Very basic synopsis. I went into this quite a bit in last week's vlog, but we have Kathleen, our heroine. Her husband Theo passed away a few months before, and now his pretty distant cousin Devon is now the Earl of Trenier, I believe is his title. And so Devon and his brother West show up to what was Theo's estate and what is now Devon's estate. And so Kathleen is living there with her 3 sister-in-laws. So that's Theo's younger sisters. And so Kathleen and Devon start off on the wrong foot because she overhears him talking about how he wants nothing to do with this estate or with Kathleen or Theo's sisters. Like, he just wants to get rid of all these responsibilities. And so we see, though, I'm about maybe like 2.5, 3 hours into the audiobook now at this point. We're seeing now that Devon and Kathleen are kind of getting to know each other more. And I love this kind of bickering dynamic between the two of them. It's very interesting. It's definitely not quite like hate to love, but it's entertaining and fun. And so as Devon is getting to know both Kathleen and Theo's younger sisters more, he eventually decides to keep the estate, not sell it off, and to try his best to repair things that need to be repaired, whether it be at the estate itself or with tenants of the land and things like that, because we're seeing that a lot of the tenants have been dealing with less than ideal farming conditions, basically. And so yeah, now we're seeing that even though Devon is a rake and he's not someone who has ever wanted responsibilities, he is taking this on. And yeah, it's just interesting, it's entertaining. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with the romance between Kathleen and Devon. We've seen that there's kind of sparks between the two of them, but you know, Kathleen is in mourning because of her husband Theo's death, and Devon also never wants to marry, which is very typical of heroes in historical romances, especially someone like Devon who is a rake. And so yeah, there's kind of, I guess, forbidden elements to there ever being a relationship between the two of them. So yeah, I'm gonna jump back into this. I'm really enjoying it so far. I know that a lot of people hate Kathleen's character, and so far I really like her, so I'm very interested to see if I'm going to agree with my friends or if I'm gonna be in the minority and really like her. I don't know, we will just have to see. So it's very late. Technically it's Saturday. What else is new that I'm staying up way too late? But I did finish 2 books today, and I read a little over 100 more pages of Kingdom of Ash, so I am making some good progress. But first, I have some happy mail to open. I think these might be early birthday presents from my mom. I don't know. So let's open these together. I like to try to find a note first. From your Secret Santa, there's another gift coming later where I reveal who I am. Merry Christmas from Secret Santa. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, so Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, she organized this like romance booktuber Secret Santa thing. So, oh my God, I'm so excited. Ah! Oh my God, yes! Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, this is volume 1 of E. McCoy, which is one of my top favorite manga series ever at this point. This is a YA romance manga, and it's so sweet, so adorable. And as soon as I read like the first few pages of this first volume, I knew that it was gonna be an all-time favorite, and I needed physical copies in my library. So I added all 4 volumes to my Amazon wish list. So, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. So then we have this package that came in a gift bag. Look at it. Oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, it matches the color of the white back there. Okay, so this has a little tag on it. Enjoy your gift because everyone needs Kate and Willa in their life. Merry Christmas, Rachel from LaSalle. Oh my God, Kate and Willa. I know who it is. Okay, I am, wow. Oh my God, it is even more stunning in person. Okay, I need to do something. Okay, this is Heartless by Elsie Silver. Oh my God, I'm so excited to have this in my hand. I'm obsessed with these covers. I read Flawless, which is book 1 of the Chestnut Springs series in October, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Just a wonderful small town romance featuring a hero who's a bull rider. Wonderful, wonderful. And I've heard that this is even better, which is insane to me because Flawless was so great. And like, I have a feeling this is gonna end up on a lot of my friends' like top favorites of the year list. So I can't wait to read this. I know the audiobooks for this series are coming out at some point next year. But oh my God, Lizelle. Oh my God, thank you so much. Wow, you guys have truly blessed me. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm like being over the top, but like you guys have no idea how insanely happy it makes me feel that like, I don't know, this community is just amazing. And the fact that you guys want to buy me books. All right, bring it back, Rachel. Calm it down, calm it down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's talk about reading updates. So I finished 2 books, like I said. I finished The Best Marquis by Nicola Davidson. So on Goodreads, I gave this 4 stars. I think it's gonna be more of like a 3.5 star. I did enjoy this for the most part. I feel like there's just way too much going on in this book plot-wise. Like there's a lot of different plot elements coming together in a book that's less than 300 pages, and it's just a bit too much. I would have rathered Nicola Davidson maybe take one of those plot elements out and focus more on the romance. Not that the romance was overshadowed. So I did overall still enjoy it. Like I said in my last update, Nicola Davidson always serves with sex scenes. And because Finn owns a pleasure toy business, there's a lot of toys being used in the sex scenes, which is fun. I do have one other gripe that I want to bring up before moving on to the other book that I finished today. We never find out why Finn has this pleasure toy business. I'm used to reading books, whether it be romance or not, where if someone has a particular occupation, you see the reasoning behind that, you see this person's passion for it. And with Finn, I didn't really see why he went into this particular kind of business. You know, it just felt like something that was thrown in to make this book more fun. I want to talk about Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas because I just finished this a few minutes ago. Guys, I gave this 5 stars. Like, I think I'm the only person I know amongst my friend group that has given this 5 stars. Most people that I follow have given this 3 stars. And I'm just like, did we read the same book? Because this was amazing, in my opinion. I loved the direction the story went in. I thought this was perfectly paced. I thought that Devin and Kathleen are a wonderful match for each other. They challenge each other in the best ways possible. Like, yes, they argue quite a bit throughout the book, but I feel like that's just so them, and it really worked for them. There's a healthy dose of angst which I love. And I know a big gripe that people have with this book is that a lot of people despise Kathleen, our heroine, and I really liked her. Like, what does that say about me that I like someone that a lot of people hate? Oof. But to me, her reactions and her motivations to situations or to certain people, like, they totally made sense to me. Nothing felt like it was way out of left field or like unreasonable or anything like that. Like, given Kathleen's background and everything really made sense to me. Same with Devon's character. I know some people don't like him, the hero. I really liked him. Also, I have to bring up this quote from, this is pretty much the very end when they're confessing their feelings for one another. And Kathleen says something like, Devon, when it comes to love, neither you nor I can trust your promises. Which is kind of a fair thing to say. I mean, he's definitely a rake, and he has maybe said or done some things earlier in the novel that would make her question him. And so he gives her his mother's watch, which I thought was so sweet. And he says, time is what I'm giving you. There's only one way for me to prove that I will love you and be faithful to you for the rest of my life. And that's by loving you and being faithful to you for the rest of my life. Even if you don't want me, even if you choose not to be with me, I'm giving you all the time I have left. I vow to you that from this moment on, I will never touch another woman or give my heart to anyone but you. If I have to wait 60 years, not a minute will have been wasted, because I'll have spent all of them loving you. I literally swooned when I listened to that part of the audiobook. Are you kidding me? That is one of the swooniest things I've ever heard any romance hero say. I'm obsessed with this couple. I loved them. And I also loved how Lisa Kleypas balanced their romance with the beginnings of Helen and Reese's. I think she does this really well. There's definitely instances in the Hathaway series where while we are seeing the main romance happen, another romance is like just starting to happen or something like that. Like, I think she does a really good job with balancing multiple romances at once. I will say my small gripe with this is that, you know, the reason why I read this was to get the full context of Reese and Helen's beginning of their relationship, right? But we don't actually get to see when Reese proposes to her at the department store, and we don't actually get to see the scene where they argue and he kisses her and she freaks out and runs away. Those are events that are viewed from other perspectives, mainly Kathleen's. So that was just like a little bit weird to me, because I felt like those two scenes are very important to the development of their relationship. And then in the part of Marrying Winterbourne that I've read so far, it's just something that is discussed between Helen and Reese, but again, it's not something we actually get to see play out, those two scenes. So that was a little odd to me, but other than that, I loved this. I also loved all the side characters. Oh my God, West, Devon's brother, absolutely obsessed with him. Gotta love Pandora and Cassandra, the twins, Helen's younger sisters. There were so many amazing passionate scenes too. Like, the one I'm thinking about is, this is a spoiler for Cold Hearted Rake, but I was spoiled for it when I read the beginning of Marrying Winterbourne, so just know, like, you can skip the next few seconds. But when Devon and Reese get into the train accident about halfway through the book, I think, and then when Devon and Reese come back to the estate after having gone through that, and then Kathleen just like runs to Devon and they straight up make out, and like, I loved that scene. Like, you could just really feel the passion and feelings between the two of them, like, so good. And of course there's great caretaking both with Helen and Reese and Devon and Kathleen. Love, love, love that. And I read about 100 more pages of Kingdom of Ash. Y'all, it is so weird when I'm rereading books. It is almost as if I'm reading these books for the first time, because I forget so much, so much of what has happened in these books, especially big fantasy books like this one. I actually have the dust jacket right here. But yeah, big fantasy books like this, like, yeah, I remembered like main plot points, but how we get to those plot points is what I have absolutely forgotten. So, and oh my goodness, it just makes my heart so happy looking at these gifts that y'all got me. Thank you so much. By the way, Lizelle has a booktube channel. I'm gonna link her down in the description. Please go give her a follow. I love her so much. And I can't wait to find out who my Secret Santa is. And yeah, okay, I need to shut up. I need to stop. I need to go to bed. Yes, so I will update you guys at some point tomorrow. Hello everyone. It is very late on Sunday night. I was going to update you guys last night, but then it just got really late. I was doing a lot of reading. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just do one final update for this week's vlog and be done with it. So I have finished another book. I have a lot of things to talk about for sure. So I did finish Marrying Winterborn by Lisa Kleypas, and what's special about this copy is that this was a gift that I received last night from Melissa, and her note just says, "Happy birthday, Rachel." Thank you so much, Melissa. Her channel is Book Bar. I will absolutely have her linked down in the description. So it's actually perfect that she bought this book for me because I was reading it yesterday. And so now I'm finished with it. I am gonna go into all my thoughts about this and other reading updates in a minute, but I got a package, and I think this is from my amazing friend Tiffany, because she messaged me a little while ago saying, oh, I'm pretty sure you just got a package from me from Amazon. So, oh my God. Okay. What is happening? Oh my God. Tiffany! Tiffany! Oh my God. Okay. Where do I start? Okay. I think there's a note in here. The reason why I'm freaking out, by the way, is because she got me more than one book. Tiffany, you did not have to do. Ah! Oh my God, I love your note, Tiffany. I am so happy that we met this year in person and have gotten so much closer because we've started sending voice memos back and forth to each other all the time. We're both night owls. So we both stay up way too late and we just send voice memos to each other. And oh my God, look at the little bag. Okay, let's see here what this is. Oh my God, okay. Ah, stop. Okay, first book, because there's 4 books in here. She sent me Resting Witch Face by Juliet Cross. This is the latest book in the Stay Spell series, and oh my God, I cannot wait to read this. This is Jules and Ruben's romance that has been built up since book 1. Oh my God, and as if that's not enough, Tiffany, you spoil me. You spoil me. She sent me 3 books from the Wallflower series by Lisa Kleypas, which is perfect because I just finished book 2. Oh my God, she sent me Devil's Daughter. These covers are just absolutely iconic. And then I have Chasing Cassandra. This one has a step back. Look at it. Oh my God. And then Devil in Disguise, which is the 7th and latest book in the series. Oh my God, Tiffany. Tiffany, this is too much. You're gonna make me cry. Like, straight up cry. Like, what? Like, I love you so much, girl. And actually, I just bought a little something for her off of her wish list last night. So that's actually hilarious. That And I got this package from her tonight. All right, wow, let's go ahead and get into the reading update. So yesterday, as you saw from the little B-roll clips that I included, I did end up going to Joann Fabrics with my mom because they were having a 70% off doorbusters sale for Christmas decorations. So I got quite a few really adorable things from there. And then we went to eat at one of my favorite restaurants. And yeah, so I've been working on Marrying Winterborn the past couple of days. I just finished this a little while ago, right before filming. I just filmed 3 videos and my brain is dead, which is not good because I still have a lot of reading to do tonight before I can go to bed. And I also need to edit this vlog and upload it because I've been making it a goal to upload these every Monday. And then I have work tomorrow too. Like, oh my, like what am I even doing right now? It's also just like, it's already 12:30. Like what? Anyways, this was amazing. This is Helen and Reese's romance. Reese Winterborn is absolutely a stern peppermint daddy. I think Crystal was the one who kind of coined that phrase for Reese, and like it's so accurate. I remember seeing that in her Goodreads review for this and I was like, iconic and so true. Oh my god, like he is such a stern daddy who loves eating peppermint candies and we love that for him, you know? But I really love the dynamic between the two of them. I will say the plot becomes a bit unhinged towards the end. That definitely took me aback a little bit, but I just loved their romance and I love the Ravenels family and the dynamics between all of them so much that I didn't really care. This was just a wonderful and beautiful romance, very sexy. There were a couple of scenes in here that were pretty great in my opinion. And I now understand why this is such a fan favorite amongst Lisa Kleypas fans. So very excited that I finally read this. I'll probably continue on with the series. Maybe not like really soon, but definitely within the next month or so because I've heard such amazing things about Devil in Spring, which is book 3. Then I have also been working through Kingdom of Ash, which let's talk about this cover. Okay, I'm gonna show you. And that's Manon on the back. So I just got an order from the Dusty shop. I saw that they were having a Black Friday sale where everything was 25% off. So I snagged their dust jacket sets for Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, and the Cruel Prince trilogy. So I am a little upset because the shipment that I got had this set and my Folk of the Air, you know, Cruel Prince set, but it didn't have the ACOTAR set. But then when I checked my email, the email I got from the Dusty shop said that that set was supposed to be in the package. So I emailed them. Hopefully they get back to me tomorrow and hopefully they send the ACOTAR set like ASAP because I really want that set in my hands. Like these dust jackets are absolutely stunning. Yeah, I want that whole situation remedied as quickly as possible. But I mean, come on, this cover for Kingdom of Ash, are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm now on page 365. And oh my god, rereading this book, you guys, has been quite the experience for sure. I was like dying last night because this is gonna be spoilers. This is gonna be for around the page 250 mark of this book. So if you're currently rereading this book as well for SJM along, just know that this is gonna be spoilers for that. So I'm gonna put a tag here and you can fast forward past it if you don't wanna hear spoilers. But oh my god, the scene where they rescue Aelin, well, she partially rescues herself. Like, there's a lot of details about that scene that I had forgotten. All I had really remembered was that she was like running through that campsite, trying to escape. And oh my god, like Fenris breaking his blood oath to help her. And then she's just running for her life and Rowan misses her somehow. And he's, you know, killing people, beating them up to try to get to her. And then she meets up with like Lorcan and Elide and Gavriel and like, oh my god, when she still has the iron mask and like the gauntlets and she's like screaming for them to take them off of her and like, oh my god. My heart was shattering into a million pieces. Like I had forgotten like that whole part of the scene. And then her being reunited with Rowan, her husband and her mate, and like, oh my god, it just, it killed me. It killed me because Aylin, you know, she's at this point where she's just like dead inside because of all the torture that she's been through. And so, oh my God, seeing Aylin, like, she's starting to come back to herself now, like where I am in the book. And oh my God, this has been just the most incredible rereading experience. So I need to read some more of this tonight before I go to bed to keep up with my daily goal of reading about 100 pages a day. So I'm gonna go do that. I need to take off my makeup, get into my PJs, and get back into reading. But that is going to be it for Vlogmas week 2. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a comment down below if you want to discuss any of the books that I brought up. I think I had a really good reading week. I've had a really good month so far, actually, because most of the books I've been reading have been 5 stars, which is really great. I think I've finished 7 books so far this month. So not like a ton, but like I said, most of them have been 5 stars, so I'll take that. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who sent me gifts from my Amazon wishlist. Like, you guys are spoiling me, and I love you all so much. And yeah, I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and I thank you so much in advance if you do, and I will see you guys in the next Vlogmas vlog. Bye!